Hi, my name's Jim Pfanner. This is the Leather Report. It's a kinky interview show for kinky people or those people out there who might have some interest. We have a special guest tonight, and we're going to start the show a little more differently than we've done before. The guests we've had on before have been more generalists. They've spoken on a lot of different topics. But we have an intimate topic tonight, an intimate sexual topic. And before we get into that, let's introduce our guest, Bill Freyer, here from San Diego, Red Hankies of San Diego. Bill, welcome.
Thank you.
Good. Now, before we get into our topic for tonight, let's talk about the concept of playing, because a lot of people that tune into this show aren't kinky people, and they're not going to understand what we're talking about.
Right.
So in the kinky community, gay, lesbian, straight, there's a concept of getting together to play, and it's not to go to the tennis courts. So why don't you tell us about it?
Well, playing is basically a term that we like to use in the kinky community to set up a certain type of play between each other, as far as whether we want to set ourselves in a role-playing kind of thing, whether it's a master and a slave, or a daddy's son, or whatever context you want to put that into, or even a fantasy mode.
Right.
You know, you might want to play a prince and a princess or something like that, whatever kind of fantasy you may have.
Right.
But you want to get that play mode in.
And this is a sexual play mode. It can be romantic and emotional, or it can be somewhat detached in terms of 2 or 3 or more people want to get together and have a sexual scene and play.
Well, so, you know, not necessarily sexual all the time either. Sometimes it can be just such as in bondage or light S&M and stuff like that. There's no actual intercourse or anything like that, but there's titillation to the body.
Right.
There's all kinds of emotions and stuff like that you do feedback on, and you just feed off of each other. Right.
Okay, so that's pretty clear now that when people in the kinky community say that they're going to get together and play, we know what it is. Now, you're the founder of Red Hankies of San Diego. And before we talk about Red Hankies and handballing, which is our topic tonight, we have to talk about the hanky code so that everyone knows about this. It's like there's a magazine that comes out, it's called Drummer, and it's been around for a while, and they have a little article this month, and it's about the hanky code. And basically, I'm going to throw it to you, Bill, but hankies are in the gay male community is how you sort of flag or tell everyone what you're into sexually.
It's advertisement.
Advertisement. There you go. Now, where did this? Now, red hanky, right pocket. Red hanky, left pocket. Blank hanky, left, right. And there's a lot of codes. And believe me, I got to tell you, there are so many things out there that people are into and want to play with. It is unbelievable. But where did this start?
Well, there's always been a way of trying to detect what someone is into.
Right.
And I think a lot of it dates back to old San Francisco, way back in the gold mining days.
Right.
Back there, they didn't have a lot of women around, and there was all these men, and sometimes men would have to fulfill the roles of women, even if it's just a dance.
Dance, yeah.
You know, and so if you wanted to get together and dance, you know, you'd have to say, okay, well, you're going to be the female, you know, for tonight or whatever while we're dancing, so why don't you wear this hanky, and we'll know that you're the one we can ask to dance.
And human beings being what they are, they took it from there and really went with it.
That's just one perspective of how it may have started.
And this is basically a gay male
predominantly
thing.
Yeah.
You're right, it's not in the lesbian or the straight kinky community per se.
It can be in the lesbian, but not necessarily. I've never known it to be in the actual straight community, though.
Okay, great. So now we know Red Hankies. Okay, Red Hankies is a handballing organization. Now this is an intimate sexual play endeavor. Explain handballing.
Handballing, which is also commonly known as fisting, is the actual insertion of a hand into the rectum or the vagina. It can be done by male or female to each other. It can be done to lesbians, gays, straights, whatever you prefer.
And it's basically seen as like an erotic anal massage, correct? Now there is, believe it or not, correct, an ancient history of this, is there not?
Dating way back into the Greek and Roman days especially, but there has actually been pictographs on cave walls and stuff like that of, you know, a hand inside of the anus.
Right,
You
right.
know. But especially back in the Greek and Roman days, you know, the famous Caligula and some of the other Roman emperors and stuff like that, they had these wild sex orgies, and that was a common practice then as well.
Now, and also, I've done a fair amount of reading about early tantric yoga practices, and there was a fair amount of good documentation out there that this was a yoga practice early on. This was thousands of years ago. So this is, for a lot of modern people, when they hear about handballing, you know, their eyes just get big and they just think, my gosh, this is just the weirdest thing I have ever heard. But in fact, it's a very ancient tradition. It's a form of anal massage, and the anal area is a very sensitive erogenous zone, as are the nipples, as are many parts of the body that are very, very sensitive and receptive to stimulation.
Right.
So Red Hankies then is a club focused on people and that have interest, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, tell us about Red Hankies. What activities go on? Tell us about the organization.
Well, my particular organization, Red Hankies of San Diego, was based in San Diego, and basically was started to get people that are into handballing together.
Right.
It's such a hushed community within even the gay community that without some kind of a way to contact each other and get to know each other, then you don't know where to find each other.
Right.
And therefore, that's why I started the club, so people that were into handballing could actually find each other and get to know each other on a social basis.
Right, right. So what activities does the club have?
We have anything from regular bar socials where we get together once a month, so you can get to know each other through that venue.
Sure, get to know your community,
Right.
the people out there.
We also specialize in just general socials at someone's home, whether it be a pool party, a barbecue, a cookout.
So maybe more of a social kind of thing, and then you also have your play parties, which can be, you know, which are intimate, you know, play parties versus the barbecue, which is a general social thing.
The play parties, they're usually on a set date also. They can be in someone's private home, or it can be in a rented space perhaps.
Correct, correct.
And basically, it can be anything from just a one-on-one time with someone, or it can be an orgy scene.